Lovely. So welcome back to another UTC Investment Frequency show. It's here on Heartbeat Radio 104.1 and Radio 90.5. Of course, that's how we like to do it here on Heartbeat and 90. We like to make sure we are taking care of ourselves. That could be physical well-being as well as financial well-being. So we are joined again by our friends from the Unitrust Corporation. Hello, Rodney.
Hello.
Nice to have you again. And hello, Lisa.
Nice to be here.
Nice. Thank you guys for coming again. I hope you all are doing well today.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we want to discuss doing well for the future. Now, we spoke about pensions, we spoke about so many different topics before in the other shows. But today, I'm pretty sure our entrepreneurs who are locked on and listening and watching as well, they will be very excited for this one. Because we are talking about paying yourself first, the entrepreneur. Now, before we get into it, I have a confession to make. I have to confess, this is one of the most difficult things for me to do. I try in many ways to do, little handicrafts, I do nails, all sorts of things. And it's so difficult to pay yourself first. So I'm very excited for this one. Very excited. So we're going to kick things off with finding out a little bit from Rodney. Because, Rodney, you are the manager at the Couva IC at UTC. All right, so you see business owners coming in every day, I'm pretty sure. And I heard that you see them reinvesting their earnings, every single cent sometimes, from their business back into the business. Now, why would you call this a founder's trap? Why would you call it that?
So, there's different ways to look at it. But I think what stays in my mind was during COVID, a lot of these businesses did very well. They're big from before. You're seeing the business growing. So they may have a lot of stock, everything is growing. But then again, the nest egg that you're putting away for yourself. So it's a trap. So let's put that in terms of your retirement and thinking about paying yourself first. Your business is your baby. It will continue to grow, it will continue to do well. But it shouldn't be only your only retirement plan. Because again, God forbid something happens, like COVID, which none of us wants to happen again. Definitely, you may not be making funds, you may not be making enough money, you want to live, you want to still go. So let's put that in context of retirement. It will be 10 times worse because now you're a little older, you may have medical bills, you have a lot of different bills. So based on that, you want to provide for yourself. So we say, pay yourself first. And it could be paying yourself into your plan, it could be growing your savings. Depending on what you're doing, you want to be able to get that consistent pay to yourself. My business is growing my pension. And you want to pay yourself, treat it like an expense that you're paying yourself. As markets change, technology shift, whatever changes may happen in your business, one consistent thing should be that you paid yourself. So your business will continue to grow, but that 10% or that 5% you pay yourself from your profits can go towards your retirement. So remember that we say you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Very true.
So imagine putting all in your business. Yes, your business will grow. Let's say your nails business. You put all your effort, you maybe have 2 locations now, everything is doing well. And then something happens. But if you were putting away from each nail business some of that funds towards your retirement, God forbid anything happens, you have somewhere you could reach in, get some funds at retirement that you could use.
And there are so many different ways in which something can go wrong in business.
Correct.
It can be you personally, physically, as the entrepreneur, the owner of the business. It can be in terms of economy, the market, and then the wider world today even is impacting our business here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Now remember, your business is your asset, right? UTC is just here to provide some security to that asset. To give you a little more security. So that's why we...
Yes. Very important. Be sure to pay yourself first, and part of that pay, make sure you're putting that away. Make a little rhyme.
That's it.
Yes. So next we wanna head to Lisa. Hey, hello. How are the kitties doing?
Very nice.
Very nice. So for the entrepreneurs listening and watching who may be struggling, right, with overhead payroll, they may be struggling to pay themselves even because of me over here, without hurting their business and their cash flow. Can you give some advice on how they can go about paying themselves without hurting their business or their cash flow.
One of the fundamental things as an entrepreneur is how you view contributions towards your retirement.
Okay.
If you view it as a burden, you're going to have a burden payment, you're going to have problems.
Right.
What you are encouraged to do is to view that retirement contribution as a mandatory bill,
Okay.
right? Just like TNTech.
Right.
If you pay, if you don't pay your TNTech bill, you will have no lights.
No.
Exactly. And you won't skip payment for your TNTech bill because you don't want to not have lights.
Right.
And it's the same mindset. It's really looking at that contribution towards your retirement about in a way that you are not skipping payments to ensure that you have secured your how you live at retirement.
Right.
So it's important that we look at it not as we look at it as a fixed expense and not a burden, because it's really an investment into your future. And the beauty of something like the UTC Pension Plus or the Universal Retirement Fund, it's that even if you can't make the big payment, small consistent payments is encouraged, because it allows you to make comfortable payments without the anxiety of having a fixed premium that you have to pay every month that you can't miss, and it may lapse if you don't pay it, or you may have your utility disconnected. This, you can adjust your payments based on your budget, based on what is happening, but the important thing is what Rodney said: you pay yourself first, but you also see your contributions towards your retirement as a fixed expense, monthly expense. And if you wait for what is left over at the end of the month, you will never start.
And that's
So
usually
it's
where.
important that you pay yourself first.
Oh my gosh, I like the way you put that one in terms of paying your light bill. So you might miss a light bill payment today and you'll feel it today. You know how we like the instant gratification / punishment. So we'll feel that, and we will definitely not miss that payment. But let's say you could think of it as paying your light bill for the future, your future self, making sure that you take care that is paid. You know, I like to think of it like picturing 55 or 65-year-old me and helping her out, because I have the energy and the time, and maybe the little, as you say, I might want to push it to wait for last, but that's not really the best thing to do. Once I put it in place, as we mentioned as well, setting up a standing order, making sure that she is taken care of. So that's I like the way you phrase that there with the light bill.
And I just want to share something else, Nikki. With one of the things that I always say to my investors, one of the scariest things in life is not having money when you're ill.
Oh my.
And at retirement, you're older, you have more need for money, and the scariest thing is to be ill and don't know where you can find money to pay a bill, or even to sometimes to support a child who may be ill or may need some money to tide them over, or to support some dream that they may have. So it's important that we look at it like that, that at retirement you want to be able to still do good for yourself, and be able to not be worried about, if I'm ill, when do I get the money to pay the doctor, or to go to the doctor, pay for my medication. And it's important that we think about it when we're young, and we have the paychecks that we can contribute from in order to take care of that when we retire. And that's why paying yourself first is important. And I try to always remember that, because paying yourself first, you're correct, it is difficult, but if you think about some of the things that can happen at retirement, that if you don't have an investment for that, what is going to happen to me then? You're going to surely make that contribution now and be more consistent with it.
I like to think of it as I know ADHD seems to be a trending term right now, but they say they have a sort of blindness. If they can't see something, they won't deal with it right now. But this is definitely something we need to think about. We might not be able to see it right now, but we need to put aside for the future, as you said. Yeah. So of course we invite our listeners and our viewers, if you have any additional questions, because I know I probably got you thinking about future you. What will you look like? What will you need? What will you need to feel comfortable in your retirement age? Of course, you can reach out to us here. You can WhatsApp us on Heartbeat Radio at 338-4288. Any questions you have, our friends at UTC will be willing to answer. You can also reach out on our Radio 90.5 WhatsApp number, 364-9050. And we'll get in touch with you. We will share more on the topics that you are interested in and so on. Alright, so let's see as we continue for these entrepreneurs. My heart is going out to the entrepreneurs listening because I'm currently planning for a sale. So I can imagine all of the figures and all of that. You're like, I don't have time to think about retirement. But it is a discussion that we need to have. So if a business owner eventually wants to retire or sell their company, how does having a UTC investment plan give them more power, give them an edge when they come to the negotiation meeting, so to speak?
Well, we always say it gives them the power of no.
Ah,
Right?
I like that.
And I'm saying it like that because it gives you, because you know you would have provided for yourself. You would have that nest egg already every time, and you're not fighting up to get it sold. You're not desperate to get it sold. You know, so you could take your time, wait for the right buyer, wait for your right price. So your personal life and your family, you know, it's taken care of. So you're not, you know, dependent on the sale in order to live or to continue to go on. And let's use another example. Most of us would have, you know, bought one car and then you sell one to get the other.
Right.
We're hustling to get this car sold, whatever price we get in order to buy the next one, because we need that money to go to the next one. If you had the ability to buy the second car, whenever it sells, you know, you get your price, you hold it on. So think of it like that. For those who don't have a business, the money provides options. You having that nest egg and that money there gives you the ability to say no. It gives you the ability to buy two or something instead of one at retirement. I always like to say a doubles is the example because $6 for one now, $1 long ago. When I retire, I want to be able to still afford one.
To be able to enjoy that.
So based on that, you know, it gives you that option whether you can buy one or two. So the best part for the business people is that option of saying no, because you would have provided for yourself. I think financial independence outside of your business is important. You know you have that nest egg you would have provided as a business made, you put away. I think that is the part that it helps. It gives you that leverage basically when retirement comes.
And you know, that's something we don't often think of, which is the dollar value changing as the future goes on. So you mentioned it in terms of doubles there, but you might be thinking, you're watching and you're saying, yes, I'm putting down, I'm making sure that I have, but how much exactly will you have when you get there? What will it be worth? And making sure that you have the additional advantage, as you mentioned, to say, no, I will wait until I find the right buyer. I will wait until, you know, I find the person who is going to take my business where I want it to go, because that is also important, aside from the dollar of the whole thing, the physical, the actual financial of the whole thing. Yeah, so that's really important as well. Now, what would be the first step for this entrepreneur who's listening? Right now, as they realize, you know what? They are the only person without a pension in their own company. What can they do in terms of getting that whole plan set up? What's the next step for them?
The purpose of having a business is to earn, and for you to be able to make a contribution or value contribution to society, because you would be hiring people. You'll be providing an essential service. You can see my nails are done.
Very
And
nice.
it's because I love
this weekend.
I love my nail tech. Shout out to Suzanne at the South Spa.
They are gorgeous.
So the very first step as an entrepreneur is to separate your personal future from the future of your business. So it starts with a conversation. Every entrepreneur has a different need. You have a different perspective on what your future, how you would want your future look like. You have a different desire for your business and in terms of where you want to see your business go. So it's important that you understand that separation is essential for planning for your retirement. And that's where UTC comes in. we are so happy to have a conversation with our entrepreneurs. We love our entrepreneurs at UTC. We have programs that are supporting. We have our Scale Up program. We have Upreneur. Those are programs at the UTC. We support and because we see the future of our economy pegged to the business of an entrepreneur. So it's important, and you all will be important, Tikki, and we need to have a conversation, and we want to encourage you to come in and speak to one of our advisors, speak to one of our customer service rep, speak to Rodney as a branch manager, and we have other branch managers over who are equally as equipped to have a conversation depending on where your location, which location you choose based on convenience. So I mean, we are happy to have that conversation with you and to let you know that you're not alone, and you know it's separating future from business is the best CEO move that you can make by securing the person who makes the business run in the first place, and that's you, right? So open an account, come in, see us, open an account and start investing towards the future, and not the future of the company first, but the future for yourself as the entrepreneur.
Nice, very lovely. I can feel the gears turning right now. Okay, I need to get some things in place. And what I think is my takeaway from this is there's a mindset change that needs to happen with regards to how you treat yourself and your business. You might, as we say in the beginning, you might treat the business as the baby, taking care of everything, but you also need to think about yourself. So thank you all so much for joining us. Of course, we want to make sure that our listeners can get in touch with you. So we do have, as I mentioned before, our WhatsApp numbers. So you can feel free to WhatsApp us on Heartbeat Radio 104.1. Our WhatsApp number is 338-4288 and Radio 90.5 at 364-9050. And of course, you can get in touch with the Unitrust team. They also have their contact information. You can go ahead and share on the...
Sure, you can visit any one of our 9 UTC investment centers or agencies.
Nice.
So definitely, if you want to come in, you want to have that one-on-one discussion, I see when you're ready, you can always come into the Couva Center and we can always sit with you and have that discussion. But it might be technology good. So you go to the computer, it's www.ttutc.com. We have all the information there. You could read about all of the funds. Find one that helps you. So if you're that savvy and you understand the info, feel free to visit the website. You could also leave a message on the website. Someone will get back to you. You could also go to our social media. So we always scroll on Facebook, we're on Instagram. So based on that, you see the post that we have. You could leave a message there, DM us also, and someone will get back to you, or you could call us.
Nice.
624-8648.
624-8648, and don't forget the website as well, www.ttutc.com. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, we're on these things. We're on the websites. We're on the social media. So thank you so much for joining us again, Rodney and Lisa. Of course, we look forward to another show. Yeah,
definitely.
Look forward to having you again. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to another UTC Investment Frequency here on Heartbeat Radio and Radio 90.5.